just it's affecting you because this thing didn't happen today. Because the National Assembly and most state houses they are no longer functioning. The National Assembly is now like Congress. It's a student union Congress. You just go there, shout, we no go agree, we no go agree. You go to your class. So that's what it has turned to because they are the people responsible for the problem. The same at DME, I know how it started. Chief here is a journalist, he will tell you more about smarter. These are the people that actually run down this country. Now it's affecting them. The chicken is coming home to roost and all of them are shouting. Because you need to look at the real cause, the enablers of the situation we are in this country today. It didn't start today. It didn't start yesterday. It has been there. And they kept quiet. Now everybody is running around. So what the CCG did, it's not a new thing. What they did, they compare us with other countries.
They are doing badly.
They are doing badly. But we know, every person know that Nigeria is doing terribly bad. From the tiers of government is on paper. Arms of government is on paper. Nothing is working. Security is working. If you can't even report crime case to police. Police are even on the run. They are even running more than you.
All right, Chief.
So
Chief,
it's not.
Chief Charlie, do you agree that Nigeria is ranking 102 on this? Do you agree with what they're saying?
I know you yourself do agree. Nigeria.
I don't know yet.
But the issue is that without going back to the indices rolled out by my friend, it is very obvious. But we're going to ask questions why this process has remained so since independence. Because there are obvious inadequacies, ineptitude, incompetence, and total malfunctioning of the entire network of governance in this country. We're talking about 21st century. The average Nigerian is hungry. He is angry. Some are ready to die. And you are seeing the secessionist movements from across board.
Country,
even those in the core north, the Hausas are equally not happy. We are thinking about a situation where a minority group has decided to clamp down on the social setup of the country, killing people, and the government is saying nothing. I think we have rolled out this, and let us go to the nitty-gritties of this matter, why it has not been able to function well. I mean, in terms of having good governance. Countries like Korea, India, Pakistan, even China were mates with Nigeria in the 60s. Eastern Nigeria used to be the most robust economy in Africa,
happened?
in the world.
What happened to Eastern Nigeria?
What happened is that we have bad governance. People who are really not interested in good rendering service. They are there for selfish interests. They are there to protect their tribal group. They are there to protect their religion. Yes. This is where it has gone so bad.
So now, how do we fix some of these issues? What is the way forward? Let me start with you, Onyemaechi. I think I'd like to hear your input on this one.
Well, my opinions are very simple. One of the greatest Africans ever, one of the most intelligent of our species, Chinua Achebe, analyzed Nigeria in 1983, and he said, what he said about Nigeria applies to the rest of Africa. That the trouble with Nigeria is simply and squarely the failure of leadership. Because that is what it is. Any country on earth that was made, that is developed, was developed by a visionary leadership. Look at Germany. Germany had no natural resources, none. The only natural resource Germany has is the human beings there. And that's why they train them to the highest level possible. And Germany, anything that Germany produces is the best in the world. Germany sends engineers to build bridges for the Americans. That America landed on the moon is due to German technology. So you can just list it. 87% of all the cars driven all over the world are German cars. But these people had no oil. These people had no gold. They had nothing except the human beings. And Nigeria, we over 200 million human beings. Creative, talented individuals. If you see Nigerians outside, these guys are powering many economies. But why is that not happening in this country?
Do you think Nigerians are ready for this? I remember the president said at some point that Nigerian youths are lazy. Do you think that also affects some of these things you're talking about?
Who am I to criticize a man who thinks that he's the president? But once a president rises up to pass a vote of no confidence on his own people, that tells you more about the character of the man than about his people. Because A father will always defend his kid to the greatest extent possible. But if you come to the public and tell the whole world that your kid is useless, your kid will become useless because it's psychological. That means you have been putting your kid down. So Nigerians are creative people. We have a pool of talent that could move this country forward. But we have decided to clamp down on them. And that's why we have these agitations. Okay? A minority are sitting on top of the resources because we are a rentier economy. We just sit down the oil that God gave us. We just make money out of it. We don't produce anything. We are even importing toothpicks from China. China will start selling Gary to us tomorrow. and then we are here claiming to be the giants of Africa.
Importing palm oil.
Chinua Achebe told us we're not even giants. We have the potentials of becoming great. But why are we not great yet? It's simply and squarely the failure of leadership at all levels, from the local government chairman to the councillor to even to the governors. I don't even want to get into that because when I start talking about it, I am so very miffed. I have traveled the world. I have seen how other countries have started from the ground upwards, building up their citizens for development. China, how long did it take China? China is rubbing shoulders with the United States today. America is owing China hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yes.
China, that in the 70s, people were dying of hunger. China had 400 million poor people then. And Nigeria, how many of us are poor? Almost all of us. The doc here said that we are negotiating our lives. It's so very unfortunate. You live in a society where you don't know that whether you wake up tomorrow. How can you plan?
Going to have. Okay, so Chief Charlie Okwesili, yes. I have this question for you. You've been in the media for a very long time. I'm sure that some of these conversations have come up, and all these years we've been saying almost the same thing on radio, on television, and newspapers. Why haven't the government changed? What do you think we've not done enough?
Thank you very much for this question. You see, in fact, the only sectors that are still functioning in this country, mainly, are the media and people who are in the private sector who are not enjoying any patronage from government. These two arms. The other ones are dead. Are you talking about the judiciary? Remember what happened shortly before this government was enthroned the second time? A chief justice of the country was removed, preparatory to an action that took place after the election. Now, somebody who they know is a cleric of the Islamic religion, is manning the internal, communication and the digital economy of this country, which means they register who comes in, who becomes a citizen. And at that same time, prior to that, the government has opened its doors to widely Fulanese from 14 countries. They held a meeting some time ago in Yobe. Of course, Governor Tom was out yesterday and was saying it. So what do you think this man ought to have done, or he hasn't done, or has already finished doing? That's why they have kept him there, despite the hue and cry by Nigerians. Can we look at the army? The army of this country. Have they not? The entire military setup has been brought down to rubble. As I'm talking to you, the navy, the infantry, the artillery, look at the police, for instance. They are now on the run. They are not performing. Are we talking about the civil service? That one has degenerated to comatose as it is today. Check out. What are we earning as people who work in the public sectors? Nothing.
He mentioned something about 500, which is now up to $1, and that kind of scared me.
Can we talk about the entire financial sector? That one is singing a different tune. The governor of Delta State, CBN, those state, printed $60 billion. This woman came to say no. The man at CBN came out to say it's true. That is, there's no sin about it. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? A government should have priority. A government should have focus. A government should be able to be responsive and listening to the people. But what are we having today? It's just a pity and unfortunate.
All right, let me quickly come to you, sir. Let's look at all of this complaints been going back and forth. What if we were giving the opportunity to stand out? How do we start? Where do we start from? They said it's never too late to begin.
You see, you can't build something on nothing and expect good results. You can't continue to do same thing, same way, same method, same approach, even for 5 years, 10 years, and expect different results. Nigeria is built on fraudulent foundation, and the consequences are now staring us in the face. when you look at from independence, all the constitutions review, enactment, and all that has been created to favor particular set of people. In Nigeria, we have two sets of laws, one for the other people, one for the other people. Even in Nigeria today, this insecurity, northwest and northeast, it is called Boko Haram. Northwest, it is called bandits. You come to north central, it is called kidnapping. You come to southeast, the unknown gunmen. You go to southwest, it is called Fulani herdsmen. Then you go to south, it is called the militant. One issue, different coloration, just to entertain their own political sentiments. Now you come to a country where you score. Sorry to say, Jude, you are from the north, I think.
I'm from the middle. Yeah, you can call it that.
You score 180 in an entrance examination, you are given a point admission. Another person from another region, one country scores 280. 280 is denied admission. Tell me, will that person have confidence in his own country? Tell me the patriotic level of that person. And say widespread. These are foundational issue. What is the reason behind quota system? You tell me that some people are educational less advantaged states. But you go to ministries, there are more. How did they acquire those education in order to be at the top? Go to ministry, go to judiciary, go to military, go to police, go to everywhere. They are the civil side, they are the top. But you want to admit people into the university, you don't give them
equal balance.
I want that picture. You low down their mark because they are less advantaged educationally. But when you get to appointment, they now be. It's so fraudulent that National Assembly, state governors, no state government, state assembly is functioning. All of them are moribund. All of National Assembly moribund. So now we don't even have the presidency again. Sorry to say. For example, no leadership. Since the killing, how many times have you had a direction that this is what we tend to do from the presidency and nobody cares? The only thing we have, Gary Bonchewu will say somebody was young, that's why he made a statement. Then what is the idea of me committing a crime at the age of 30 and being convicted? Then at the 20 years later, I will become a minister. Why do you, the same constitution that says ex-convict cannot be elected or be appointed? But somebody who did this, you will say it's because he was young. Sami Adeosun, one of the finest finance minister we had then, because he's from a particular area, she was made to resign. But she committed that offense when she was young too. Okay. Why didn't they apply the same thing? So when you look at a country that's built on fraud, on injustice, Professor Obiozo, the president of Ohanese, he made a statement, very simple, very germane. He said, you deny people of justice, you deny people of fairness, you deny people of equity. They will never be interested in the peace you are preaching. Okay, and until justice is made available to everybody, then you will now begin to generate.
Thank you. Peace. Now, Mauritius, an Indian Ocean island, was ranked first in Africa and 38th on the global scale with an index score of 0.5670. Zimbabwe was Nigeria's runner-up, followed by Venezuela at the bottom of the log. Shouldn't we be concerned by this rating, bearing in the mind that Nigeria is supposedly the giant of Africa?
Well, sorry, we are not giants.
We are not giants.
We are not giants. We have to put that fact on the table. Nigeria is not a giant. Nigeria is one of the dwarfs that I've ever seen. How could you call a country a giant?
By population, based on the fact that we
have
the
doesn't
numbers.
make you a giant.
Well,
it's numbers.
Yeah,
isn't it?
well, 200 pounds of 100 pounds of feather and 100 pounds of sand have the same weight because they're 100 pounds.
Yes.
But if you want to build, you can build with feathers, can you? No. You only build with sand. So that's just Nigeria. We are just making noise about our greatness. But we have not proven this greatness when the push comes to shove. We have the potentials of being great, but we are not there yet. Finland came first. That's the country which we're measuring ourselves with. Finland, on all indices of human development, these Scandinavian countries are in another planet.
Exactly.
Okay, from childcare at the nursery level, from treatment of school pupils in the primary schools to the university level. I just came back from Germany. There is free education from the nursery school to the PhD level, to the highest level you can ever wish to attend. The government takes care of it. In Nigeria, I heard that the university in Kaduna increased school fees from 26,000 to 500,000. And Nigerians don't even make up to $1 a day. Over 70% of us. How are these people going to fund the education of their kids? And how can these people that we are going to train have the mind to remain here to contribute to this country? Everybody wants to leave. That's just the thing. If you want to see how bad Nigeria is, go to Ojemba market today and tell them that there are free visas to the United States. Ojemba market will be depopulated in a second. You get the point. So for you to see how terrible Nigerians feel about Nigeria, we don't have hope anymore. This ship has sailed. Unless Nigerians get to the table of dialogue to sit down to equally even ask, are we ready to be together as a one country? Because the prof here talked about,
do you think that will help though? Like even if we decide to say, okay, everybody,
if we don't talk,
do you think that the index will be different?
If we don't talk,
yes.
If we don't talk, we are going to end on the battlefield killing each other.
Okay, now that brings me to the next question, which is, in your thoughts, what do you think is the major challenge of good governance in Nigeria? Is it the leadership or the followership? Because he mentioned school fees going up from 20 to 500, and yet you still see people who can afford to take their children to these schools, and you know that their salaries are not up to these. So, well, the question is, who are we to blame? Is it the government alone, or we are part of this?
It's both ways. The leadership has the greater portion of the blame because they drive the people. They have to drive. He made mention of Germany. I've been to Germany many times. One day we were at eating. We went to central Berlin. We were eating. I told them they were talking about people that are not ready to work. Instead of going for 500 euro a job in a month, they won't work. Then I tapped myself. My salary is not up to 500 euro. And these people are thinking I'm a professor from Nigeria. I'm a rich man. It dawned on me that, look, I'm not even a rich. I'm a poor man. 500 euro. My salary is not up to 500 euro. But nobody, the leadership drive, nobody want to be led. It's very difficult to be led. But the leadership will tell you this is the right place to go. Look at the history of Singapore. Where this
yes, of course.
When you read from third world to first, the story of Singapore by Lee Kuan Yew, you look how the leadership can take its country from nothingness to something. But in Nigeria, we hardly have a pan-Nigerian leader. Everybody sectionalism. When you bring an issue to a president or a governor or a senator, the first thing, where does he come from? Where is he from? Who is the father? Who is the mother?
Which religion?
Which religion?
Belong to?
Then when a leader begins to think like that, and it's apparent that's what they are thinking. But Comrade Dede said something here yesterday. He said, assuming the constitution did not accommodate national spread, politicians will not even be reaching out to anybody. They will just stay in their enclave and get to power. They are coming, somebody contested the election from Kaduna State is coming down to Southeast because he needs national spread. Without national spread, you and I as good as nothing. And that's the basis of our situation. We need to tell ourselves the truth. Get back to what he said about Germany. Germany has never been afraid of their past. They will come and talk about it, no matter how ugly. I was at a conference in Humboldt University. I told them this is what I want to. They said, no problem, you can say it. I told them everything about what German did to Africa. This same Berlin, this is where they decimated Africa. They were clapping for me. But in Nigeria, no go area. This one, no go area.
Gray areas.
This one, no go area. This one, don't discuss. When we don't discuss all this, how do you push forward?
Who's actually?
Your question was what we could do
and then
to restore normalcy.
Yes, what we can.
Recall that in 1961 there was a plebiscite in this country where we refined and decided to become a republic.
Yes.
In that plebiscite, I think Northern Cameroon also, or Western Cameroon, got severed from Nigeria. It was peacefully done. Why can't we come to the grassroots? People, what do you need? Some people are asking for referendum. What's bad about it? Referendum mustn't be for issue of secessionism. It can be for remodeling the country.
Exactly.
I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
Look, if you see this plebiscite or referendum or whatever you might want to call it, people have to sit down and renegotiate Nigeria. Nigeria is a project. It's an ongoing project. But I can tell you that in the past 6 years, Nigeria has been fully decimated. Fully. Everybody is now afraid of his brother and sister. Look at what's happening in Imo. The governor is almost, I don't know how to describe it.
He lives in Abuja now.
When the fish gets rotten at the head, the rest of it is gone.
You're right.
Why can't the government sit down? If it means going back to the 2014 confab report, dust it up. Talk about it.
Great.
Organize your own.
Organize your own.
Organize your. If you don't have trust in that COVID, then organize your own. But we need discussion.
We need to discuss Nigeria.
I love just what the journalist there said. The point is, the major problem is the stark indifference of the Nigerian elite and the ruling and the rulers in power. They are indifferent to what is happening at the grassroots.
They are not.
That was the same on the eve of the French Revolution. The nobles in the French court were very busy whining and dining, while the hoi polloi, the hewers of wood and the drawers of water, while they were boiling and rising, until the guillotine started cutting off their heads. That was when they realized that something was at stake. And this is what is happening now. I landed in Abuja, and the kind of stark indifference among the elite. I mixed with these people. I said, wow, what I am seeing at the grassroots, it is boiling. It's just like a molten magma. When this volcano will explode, it will swallow Nigeria. We better start talking to each other.
Okay.
Now, leadership don't think of society. That is one of basic. They don't think of society. They think of themselves.
All right, so you're still on 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM, Political Voices. We'll just quickly check our social media page, and you can start calling us this morning, 0902 0020 925 or 0809 8888 925. So we have this message. It says, this one says, how do we vote or rig in bad Nigerians and expect them to do good? Oh, okay. That's Chidi Simon Iluani. And this one says, Salvation Ebunike says, good morning, Judah and the gentlemen in the studio. The Nigerian government and governance is nothing to write home about. The level of insecurity, the level of corruption, sycophantic and docile citizens, which equally contributed to the failure of leadership, restructuring of the structure, system, and institution, and restructuring of the attitude and mindset will help to bring back the glory of this great country, Nigeria. Thank you so much for that. Judex Necherem says, I was taught leadership back in school, but I can't really see it in Nigeria. The country have become a land where the citizens will be suffering and dying, yet their leaders will expect them to be smiling and keep quiet. We have this one from Eku Theophilus Chike. Says, no meaningful development can take place in a country that is full of chaos and insecurity. There is nothing to assess in the government. Nigeria is built on fraudulent foundation, and presently we are sitting on gunpowder. Okay, that's what Facebook thinks, but let's quickly get to the phone lines. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I'm Cosmos, speaking from Nsukka.
All right, go ahead, sir.
I'm happy with the lightness. I agree with the gentleman in the studio. Thank you for enlightening us. I just pray that because may intervene in the affairs of the because things are getting too fast. I encourage them to speak more because a lot of people are getting quiet, maybe because out of fear or because to be called strength of the government, but it doesn't help the matter. Please continue with the good work. We are behind you.
Thank you so much, sir. And let's move to the other phone lines and find out who's there. Okay, let's get back to Facebook. I think I've read Salvation. Is there another one? Comrade Jeremiah Okorie says good governance is lacking in Nigeria because most of the leaders occupying elective positions are forced on the people through manipulated elections. Most of those who are appointed lack qualifications and competence. You can't give what you don't have. Wow. Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be part of this discussion this morning. Good morning to the guests in the studio.
Good morning.
This is Inanna. I'm calling from Osoka. Actually, one of the guests there just made it that is clear. The problem is lack of visionary leadership. Look at the crop of leaders we have in Nigeria now. Look at the Southeast, the kind of governors we have. All their programs and policies are reactionary. They can't foresee, happenings and handle them and nip them in the bud. Look at Imo State now. How do we cope the situation in Imo State now? With the level it has got now. So what I'm trying to say, coming to the show of Nigeria, it is a foundational problem. It's a structural issue. And for us to get it right, we should restructure. Restructuring is a must.
All right, thank you so much. Excuse me, I beg your pardon. And this one's Obi Tube Nemeka says, good morning, the guest in the studio. Well, if we must assess in the last 6 years or 10 years, one can say Nigeria under this next level government is on an auto-reversed mode. Leadership is our greatest nightmare in Nigeria, and not even corruption. Vital leadership position are sacrificed on the altar of political witchcraft. Wow. Remember, Pantami is still a minister under this government, and the government is defending him at all costs. Also, remember, a political appointee under this government said on national television that if you join the ruling party, all your sins will be forgiven. That's a very strong reminder right there. Assessing good governance, this is Ikechukwu Ugwai. He says, assessing good governance is still a mirage. Nigeria will fare better under another colonization, preferably by the Americans. The worst they may inflict on us is much better compared to the best by these current government. Wow. All right. Hello. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Mr. G.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Good morning. And all the guests in the house. I really like this topic being treated this morning. Thank God I'm calling to join here. I just want to say something. One of the guests mentioned about investing people in the country. Actually, we have talent in the country. But nobody, the government is not interested in investing in them. I'm a car rider, but I build it in my house. I don't have money to register on or all the documents I need to acquire to market my product. But I build not overrated inverter, but complete inverter in my own house. And I'm a car rider. I'm a technician, I'm an electrician, but no help from anywhere. So we have talent. I have friends that are into other things that they are talented for me. Nothing to show for, no help coming from anywhere.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, this is somebody who's talking about how talented he is, but nobody is looking at that. Let's quickly check out our Facebook page as well. Yes, we have this one that comes from Change. It says, okay, Martins Chidebere Ekweme says, how do we assess a government that has remained comatose and functionless? There is basically no governance in Nigeria. What we have at best is rulership. We have also Oka Kingsley. He says, the only challenge we have right now is security challenges. He doesn't think that we have other economical problems too. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Emeka. I'm from Moka.
Okay, Emeka, go ahead, sir.
I think that the problem we are having in this country is that our leaders refuse to listen to us. You people are doing a great job there, but the people we are talking to just refuse to give us ears. I think that is the problem.
All right, thank you so much. So I would want the guests to respond to this. You said the only challenge we have right now is security challenges, and that's coming from Oka Kingsley Okukwe. Do you agree with that premise?
Well, I can say the raison d'etre of every government is the protection of lives and property of our citizens. So I can understand the sentiment that informed his idea that the only challenge we have in this country is security challenges. But that's not the only challenge. Our problem is leadership. Achebe analyzed it, and nobody has been able to refute that. Nobody has been able to present an equal analysis that could knock off Achebe's vision. Our problem is leadership, because with leadership, you could solve a host of other problems. Leadership is there to provide security. Leadership is there to make sure that there is economic development. Leadership is there to make sure that people have jobs. Leadership is there to make sure that people sleep safely in their homes. So if we don't have visionary leadership that could anticipate the needs of the people, that could listen to the people as well, that country is heading to hell. And that's why we see all these agitations. That's why Nigeria is boiling over across board, from the southeast to the southwest to the south to the northeast. There is chaos and anarchy everywhere. We don't have a government anymore. That's what this signifies, because once a government could not arrest the security challenges within its domain, that government has no reason more to exist. That's what we're seeing.
So, did you, like, from the point that he's coming from, let me talk to you, of course, Chief. He feels like if there's security, people can actually go out and kind of build themselves. Do you think that works?
Well, when we talk about security, well, some of us are just watching and talking about physical security. How do we get ourselves secure, not dying? It's not only that. People die by starvation. From starvation. A lot of people here don't have money to eat 3 times in a day. And some people have more than 4 children in the family. Some of them are working. How much are they paid? But let me tell you one thing. My anger, honestly, has to do with the leadership in the Southeast. I don't want to say Nigeria is a failed state. But why should we allow Southeast and Eastern Nigeria to fail as well? Then we have a lot of indigenous brains, let me put it that way. Look at the young man who spoke to us. He's riding keke. Did you hear him talk?
Yes.
The language.
Yes.
That tells you he's a graduate. He might even be a master's degree holder. He's riding keke and he's building inverter in his house. If he had belonged to the political, or his brother, father, or whoever belonged, they would have given him money, develop an industry. What happened to all the industries we have? What's happening to our palm oil, palm produce that made us what we were? What are we talking about? Why can't these Southeast state governors come together, form a hub? Because we have the capacity to do that, to drive it. Why can't they come together? Let us revisit the palm produce thing. It's indigenous to us. Our land accepts it. Why can't we use our technocrats in the civil service, teachers in the universities? We're all there.
All right. So let me. Do you agree with the statement of this young man on Facebook?
Yes, I agree. And just a minute.
Yes.
You know, in the same book, The Trouble with Nigeria, one of the chapters, I think, talked about Nigeria giving false image of itself by saying we are the giant of Africa. And he made the mention of comparing Germany. Germany was saying we are small, but that Nigeria, we are big. At the end of the day, you see the irony in that statement. And that has been the basis of our problem, giving false image of ourselves, not relying. When as the other say we invite Africa, we invite the US to come and help us. The same way Dosumu, when you read the story that led to the colonization, the same way Dosumu invited the British to come and help him rule, and that's how white people came into Africa, into Nigeria and started ruling. So when you talk of insecurity is the basis. That's where I slightly disagree, because when I don't even have the mind to go, and now keke closes at 9.
Yes.
Now, if someone has taken keke on hire purchase, and you and I know some of them make more money in the night, why do you close keke at 9? Because of insecurity.
Yes, insecurity.
Now, I know so many of them, they drive till daybreak just to make sure that they meet up with their financial obligation to the person who has given them the keke. Now, when you cut it short by 9, even by 8, I understand by 8:30, police have even started harassing them, arresting them. And look at it. So at the end of the day, when you disturb these people from even having legitimate source of livelihood because of insecurity, they devise other means. someone that can produce inverter can equally produce something that can even pull this house down,
Yes.
if not properly channeled towards the positive area. So insecurity is at the basis. The people that put governance as the government as the fundamental essence of government to be security of life, they made a mistake.
No,
Because-
you are right, because anybody that has ever read Thomas Hobbes will see Thomas Hobbes based all his political theorizing
Social contract.
on insecurity.
Insecurity.
Because if we don't have security, the life of man in society becomes solitary, nasty, brutish, and short. So that's what it is. So insecurity is a major problem, but that's not the only problem. There are other problems. But once we solve the insecurity issue, then we need to sit down. For us to solve it, even we need to sit down and talk to each other. This country needs to be restructured.
Exactly.
Interesting.
That
Now,
no
is there
way
a
about it. All this,
prerequisite?
we don't need to be shying
Charade
away from
about
early.
it.
It's
Right.
the fundamental thing. But the elite, they are afraid because they don't want to leave their position, that comfort zone.
Privilege.
Because restructuring will alter a lot of structure. I mean, a lot of comfort zone. Mind
be
you,
broken.
if Nigerians are not careful, they will just organize themselves and give us a document and claim that this is restructuring. What you see there, most of them are now that just more money to the state, more money to the local government, more security. Nobody is talking how hospitals, how schools, how roads, how
talking about
infrastructure
the
will be.
structure.
They are always talking. Before you know it, they will just give us a document that it has retooled their looting formula, and they will say we have restructured.
So,
and at the end of the day, we go from farm pan to fire.
You-
So
you are-
everybody
you are-
must be
you-
very at alert.
No, you are absolutely right about the elite, because the elite, they don't like losing their privilege,
They
and
don't.
that's why power is never given. Power is always taken, because
Therefore-
those who are in privileged positions don't like
want
to
to- they
lease.
want-
They
they
don't
want
like
to-
to even lease power.
Are we indirectly saying that the population of Nigerians are docile? They are not.
They are not docile.
want to
Not
take
at
power.
all.
Is that what you're
No,
suggesting?
No.
Our
Nigerians
political
are not-
consciousness.
Nigerians are
We are
not
waking up
docile.
now as a
Okay.
result of social
That's what
media.
we are talking.
But
If
before
Nigerians
now,
were docile,
our political
we
consciousness
wouldn't have
very
been
low.
having these agitations.
Yes.
Nigerians are not docile, because a hungry man
It's an
is
angry
never
man.
docile. The stomach is not docile. Why should he be docile? So that's why we are agitating. Nigerians are agitating, telling the government we are sick. We are tired of this hunger, of this insecurity, of every other thing that is
The central
happening.
government does not want to listen to people. Why can't our people come together who are in leadership? Come together.
Okay, so because that was going to bring me to the next
Why
to
can't
the
our
next
people come
part.
together?
That was going
But
to
they
bring
are coming
me
together.
that
Come
was going to
together
bring me
and
to
did
the,
what?
But those
to the next
central
part.
figure.
Are there like a prerequisite laws? Like, is there any like requirement to improve or rather solve the problems of good governance in Nigeria? Like, before you become a political office holder, what should the people look out for?
Let's look at sovereignty. Who are the real holders of power in Nigeria? It's never been the people, because we see that during the elections, the elite gather themselves and organize themselves and steal the election, and the people are there. They just co-opt a few of us and conscript us to help them steal the election, and then they sit down there and then do whatever they want. But we need to. That's why I talk about restructuring. Nigerians need to come together, sit down, and agree on the kind of society they want to produce. If that doesn't happen, these agitations that we have everywhere will never go away. Nigerians really want to have a say. They want power to reside in the people, and they are the ones who will say, this is the right man to rule us, this is the right man to be there, and then we will start talking about merit instead of mediocrity that's all over the place at the
And
moment.
that
All right,
problem
now-
is this. You ask yourself,
Yeah.
how does those leadership emerge? Some people will just sit in their parlor. You, David, Jude,
yes.
go and become the local government chairman. You, Alice, go to and become a governor. People don't actually determine who govern them, because we don't even have a electoral option. We don't have democratic option
I think
to decide
this
who
person shares that thought. He said, if this country doesn't restructure on a round table, honestly, it's going to burn more. Debt rate is mind blowing. Insecurity is mind blowing. Poor economy is mind blowing. Nothing is working. Presidency has proven that they can't handle this country. They should resign. That's coming on Twitter. Ugo 15. Now, talking about this roundtable, we're all looking at it as okay, like we heard, and if you read all the top books in the world, you realize that wars are never won in the battle. There's always coming back to
At
sit
the
down
at
and
the
a
round
round
table.
table to have that discussion.
Can I say something?
Yes, please, sir.
If you watch, there's a famous state in the United States that are agitating to leave US.
The southern
Yes,
states.
the
The
southern
Remember?
southern
Yes,
states
yes.
are
The
agitating.
United Kingdom is made up of kingdoms.
Scotland is even agitating.
That's what I'm
to leave.
saying.
they lost the
So
other
why
one,
can't
and they
we
are
sit down?
rejected.
Let me tell you one thing. If I'm your enemy, sometimes pretend to listen to me. You can get some points from me. There are people who have called our enemies, branded them terrorists, but they're making points, and people are following them. Why can't you sift out those good things from there and then decide to rebuild? I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying.
You are right. When people
now,
start agitating, it's based on the sense of being aggrieved, sense of injustice. And you have to listen to them. If you don't listen to them, it's going to metastasize. It's like cancer. And we are saying it because these agitations are all over the place now. It started, people thought it started in the southeast. The southwesterners, we have Sunday Igboho. He's now agitated. And in the middle belt, they are fed up with the situation that they're being slaughtered in their homes by Fulani headsmen, and nobody's doing anything. That is the thing. Yes, everybody is agitated. Nigerians are no more satisfied.
And mind you, if you look at Sunday Igboho issue, you realize that no political elite has ever come out to condemn Sunday Igboho. That makes it that there seems to be tacit support for what he's doing.
Yes.
And until you say, look, because what leadership does essentially is to organize ideas and resolve conflict. There's no role. Anybody telling you leadership is to blow siren and carry. No. We should, Professor Obiozo, I will refer to him again. He said, look, it's even wrong to say all of us are speaking with one voice. There's no society where everybody speaks with one voice. What leadership does is to organize those thoughts, all those voices, and streamline them.
Good morning, Uncle Jude.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, it's Ovuna Declan calling from Engichali, Gwinapon State.
Go ahead.
I just want to let you people know that governance in Nigeria is not what to write home about. I can see it as a family forum. And I believe a hungry man is an angry man. If they fail to address the issue of hunger in this country, I don't think whatever we are talking about governance, we be it in our path. It will continue to cause insecurity in this country. Let them look at hunger. You can imagine agriculture. They are not doing anything about it.
Thank you so much on that. Now, I want to say a big thank you to my guests in the building. It was really exciting. I learned a lot of things sitting with these great minds in the building. I want to first say Dr. Dele Maxwell Ugwai, who's a social commentator, lecturer, and good governance advocate. Thank you so much for coming, sir.
Thank you, Jude.
You blew out a lot of hot fire. And Chief Charlie Ekwesili, who's a senior colleague as well, a former director of news in Enugu State Broadcasting Service, ESBS, also a public policy analyst. You're welcome, sir, once again. And our great friend here, Dr. Onyemaechi Emmanuel Ogbunweze. I hope I got that right.
You got it right. Thank you very much.
He's an African director for genocide prevention of the Christian Solidarity International Switzerland. You're welcome to Enugu, and I hope that the government will tap into your knowledge as well.
Thank you very much. We are trying to find solutions to this problem of agitations all over the place, but we hope we are looking for alternative voices that are moderate. These are the people we are communing with at the moment.
Thank you so much. That's it on today's edition of Political Voices. Remember to keep your comments going on our social media platforms with the hashtag Political Voices. On behalf of my producer, Lotana Okereke, and the executive producer, Oke Odogu, my name is Jude Thomas Dam. We'll meet you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., same time, same station. My name is Jude. See you tomorrow.